Sure. Hello, good morning everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. Today, Applied Science and Humanities Department of Parul Polytechnic Institute has scheduled webinar on empathy and leadership. I, Vaishali Nathwani, would like to introduce today's guest speaker, Roshni Bhattacharya. She is a NAPET accreditation in soft skill training, certification in modern applied psychology, certification in NLP, and a science graduate with honors. Her diverse work exposure in various roles across industries, verticals investigated her to take a keen interest in observing the interactions of daily life and work and understanding the natural organization of activities, environment, and interactions from the practitioner's point of view. Such close observation yielded the passion of helping individuals understand complex interaction of human behavior and the context in which it occurs in the realm of an organizational setting. She has been engaged as a trainer, a motivator, and a personality trainer, helping individuals find inner strength, become more goal-oriented, and work in sync with the company's mission and vision. With a set of modern, updated, innovative, well-researched, and out-of-the-box training tools, she strives to be a trainer who aspires to transform lives. Her training encourages a healthier work-life balance and always encourages individuals to hone their people skills to become interested in philanthropic and social welfare activities. She has been voluntary service to Kolkata Samaritans on several occasions. It's a privilege to welcome you here, ma'am, on this platform.
Thank you so much, Vaishali ma'am, and a very good morning to everyone here, whoever is viewing this. It's a privilege and honor to speak on behalf of Parul Universities to speak on this topic of empathy and leadership, because in today's date, particularly after the times that we all have seen, the entire world has seen, organizations are looking into the trait of empathy in a leader more than what it used to be before. So here I'm addressing on behalf of an university which grooms up the future leaders. It is absolutely a pleasure to talk about leadership and empathy. Now, to start with, I have a question for everyone. Who is a leader? But I have to answer it on my own or on your behalf, since this interface is not about an interface where not everybody can interact. So to answer that, who is a leader? Number one, anybody and everybody is leader. It only takes a person to motivate a group of people to understand others and move towards a shared goal. So a leader can be a homemaker. A leader can be a daily wage laborer also. But here, since we are concentrating on the educated mass, so let us look at leaders at an organizational level. So what are the qualities that a good leader should have generally? There are many qualities. All those cannot be listed in our webinar format. So I just listed a few of these. One of which is confidence. This is a must. Having confidence in oneself, trusting and believing oneself, that is, being self-aware, is a must to be an empathetic or good leader. Second is the communication skills. Now, it's commonly mistaken that communication skills is about English language. Communication skills cannot be restricted to a particular language. So I have heard people or seen people posting for jobs have to have good communication skills. Now, what do they mean by it? Do they actually mean proficiency in English? or do they mean communication skills as in skill set? So communication skills is a very vast thing which includes vocals, verbals, body language, even the way we dress up, our attire, everything. So communication skills is actually a topic which can take up to, say, 4 or 5 days. Another the quality which is required for a good leader is the integrity. What I believe should be an integral part of me. Another thing which we will today focus on is empathy. Then comes accountability. If my team does anything wrong or misses out on something, I am responsible for that. This should be the attitude. Creative thinking, having different ideas, thinking out of the box, being honest with the thought processes, with the behavior and everything. And most important, to be an empathetic leader is one's humility. The person should be humble enough to recognize even the peon of that organization. And the highest of all in the important list or topping the list is the decision-making capacity. So that capacity is a lot dependent on our creativity, how empathetic we are, and our communication skills. But why did I talk about leadership when I'm talking about empathy and leadership? Because we need to actually brush up what we already know so that we can find the connection between leadership and empathy. Now, coming to the point, why empathy is required for a good leader? We must understand that a leader has a job that juggles between a lot of responsibilities. So there's a whole lot of chance to be distracted. And most importantly, a leader has to be patient. Otherwise, we might miss out listening to what the other wants to say. Why listening is also important? Listening is important because once we listen to the other, the person feels respected. The person feels, yes, I am important. And hence, the person feels safe around the leader. Also, it is required in conflict resolution. So it's the way we think, act, and communicate or talk to the people around us. So I have few datas with me, which research has showed. So I have to read those out because these datas are not my datas. I have collected it from different sources. 82% of employees view empathy as a critical way to influence businesses. 92% team members would be more likely to stay with their company if business leaders empathized with their needs. 77% would consider longer hours at work. 87% of CEOs agree that a company's financial performance is tied to empathy. So this is the importance of empathy. But do we really understand what empathy is? There are many times when we are confused between sympathy, empathy, mainly. But I have taken up pity, sympathy, empathy, and compassion, these four traits. So for a better understanding, let us understand pity first. For example, I was traveling to some place by my car, and there was an old lady, literally fragile, begging for food. I didn't have any food with me, So I give the lady some money so that she can buy some food. But I didn't go some extra mile to help her out. That was pity. I gave her the money out of pity. Sympathy is very easy to understand. We hear a lot of people, and especially during COVID times, losing their near and dear ones. And especially when it is posted in social media, what do? We just write a few lines which are condoling the death. But do we really feel the pain of the other? So that's sympathy. To understand empathy, I have a story to share with you all. This is about a student and a professor, and this story is one of my favorite stories, and I have shared this in many other platforms. The student wants to go on a long walk with his favorite professor, and they decide upon a evening time to go for the walk and talk on their favorite topic. So they continue, so they start for their walk in the evening. After going a few kilometers, the student spots a torn pair of sandals, and then they see a farmer walking at a distant field. The student wants to play a prank. He tells the teacher, the professor, so let's enjoy, let's have some fun, let's play a prank. I want to hide the farmer's slippers, the sandals, and see what he does when he comes back and doesn't find it. The professor, upon hearing that, said, can we do it the other way around? Can we put 2 coins on each of his sandals and see how the farmer reacts? And the professor then put a 10 rupee note each on both his sandals. Then they hid themselves behind a bush. Soon the farmer finished his work and came back after cleaning his hand and feet to put on his sandals and go back home. As he came to put on his sandals, he saw 2 10 rupee note on each of his sandals. He bent down, picked up the money, and looked here and there to find no one. Then he sat down, folding his hands in prayer. God, thank you for this. I did not even have money to buy medicine for my wife. Now at least I can buy some food for her after the whole day's work. You know, she is not well for so many days now. Hearing that, the student's eyes filled with tears. He turned to his teacher and said, thank you, sir, for showing me the way how to feel someone else's pain. This is empathy, that the student got tears in his eye hearing the farmer's pain. And what is compassion? We all saw compassion in the troubled times that we all went through during the first lockdown or even the second lockdown. A lot of volunteers came out to the street to feed the hungry, to take patients to the hospitals because there were not many ambulances, arranged oxygen, hospital beds. They did so much out of their way, even threatening their own lives. That is compassion, going beyond empathy and thinking beyond to help others. So once we are clear with that, we must understand what is empathy and now link empathy with the leadership skill. So what are the benefits? Why are we talking about empathy and leadership so much? Number one, it increases collaboration. So it's not just for the sake of sake. I have with me a paper which is the result of a project done by Google on its hundreds of teams to find out how empathy affects teamwork. So please let me read this out, because this is not my research and this is Google's research, which I should make no mistake and read out. This project was named Project Aristotle. They had two very important findings. The most successful groups shared these two characteristics. Number one, people were skilled at reading emotions based on non-verbal cues. If a team member appeared uneasy with a decision, it was likely noticed and discussed. If someone appeared down, others showed concern and support. Those conversations are not always easy, but they're important. They allow us to be authentic and engaged. Each person spent roughly the same amount of time speaking during conversations. This is the second finding. This practice reflects a shared belief that everyone has something valuable to contribute. And when everyone shares their knowledge and ideas, the group's collective intelligence grows. That leads to better results. So whenever something is being said, it's not just said for the heck of it, it's the result of some research and findings. Empathy definitely increases patience, because an empathetic leader will listen keenly or listen with interest, and that needs patience. Problem solving. Empathy is found to help in problem solving as well. There are many times when a leader finds issues with the team members, but are not able to define or find out the reason for that, the root cause. Once they try to be empathetic, they try to put them in the team members' shoes. How? By asking questions, by trying to know. They are able to solve the problems effectively. Empathy is one of the key traits of building good interpersonal relationship. The stronger the interpersonal relationship, the better result we have in terms of relation Another very important part is the increased productivity, which I have a very good example with me for sharing that. So this was a study conducted by researchers in the university fundraising program. So what they found, that human connection actually empowers and motivates to do people more. When we know that our work is benefiting somebody else, we do more to do that. So it adds meaning and value to our work. What they did is, during a university fundraising program, they divided the students into different groups. To one group, they made sure that the group read out stories of how this fundraising program helped different groups of people. For student scholarships, how it helped them; for other aids, how it helped the other people. It was observed that the fundraising doubled when after reading the stories. It is even seen that radiologists do their interpretation in much detail if the photographs of the patients are attached with the files. This is the relation of empathy and human connection on productivity. It is like when the team leader and the team members feel that they are together in a goal, they achieve the goal faster. Otherwise, it is seen that the goals are many a times not clear to many people, and they do not reach the goal in the desired time. As I said, I have already read that data that the CEOs said the financial performance of an organization gets a boost by some 78%. Oh, sorry, 87%. We also know organizations who work for others, or say NGOs, who work for the poor, needy, for the education, or even against women trafficking. So why do they put that effort? What motivates them? The pain that they feel for others, the empathy they feel for others motivates them. So that becomes the core of the mission for whatever they do. These are the 10 benefits of empathy on leadership. Now the question is, can we develop empathy, or is it a trait that we are born with? So research has again shown that basically all of us human beings are empathetic by nature, but our conditionings, our environment at times suppresses that empathetic nature, and we do not understand that. So we need to be mindful. So what can we do to be mindful so that we can be empathetic leaders? Number one criteria in being empathetic is listening. We actually do not listen. Listening is listening with our ears and processing it out in our brain. It's a general saying, or we have heard many a times, that God has given us one mouth, 2 ears, and 2 eyes. What's the purpose? Listen more, see more, talk less. There are times we need to do that. Our body language and our facial expression. When I talk about communication, I literally mean all these things. The listening skill, our body language, our facial expression. We want it or not, it our body language or our facial expression actually talks our mind. People will be able to understand what we mean. Do we really mean what we are saying? Are we really talking from our heart? Hence, when we do this, when we listen properly and talk from our heart, what we do? We build strong relationships. And that we should also be mindful about, whether we are making strong relationships, or what is the percentage of having strong relationship and weaker relationship. At the end of the day, we are all human beings, and it is not possible that we have the same kind of relationship with a number of people. But here we have to be mindful about the percentage of people that we share good relationship with, and the percentage of people we do not have such good relationship with. So that will say, are we being empathetic? It's also in our attitude. Always having a sour attitude, always complaining about things, will push people away. At the same time, we will be so engrossed with our own feelings that we will not look beyond to understand the other. So definitely, attitude plays a big role. There are many a times we come across people who say, this is impossible. And we have seen a lot of times, impossible word means I am possible. So it's about seeing possibility. We are human beings. Our brain is so powerful that we can really find out ways if we want to. Again, it's about our attitude also. Seeing possibility is about our attitude. Everyone has their own set of emotions. Again, I repeat, at the end of the day, all of us are human beings. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel fearful. It's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to have anxiety. But are we too much trapped into this? Are we trying to get out of it and figure out things and see and look beyond, find out possibilities? I had a poor connection. Oh, this is the network. A blame game, of course, when it is not a human being. But to err is to human. To err is human. So let us not put blames on others and try to find out ways together to solve if something has been done wrongly. It is not okay to always blame others. Let me see, what have I done on my part to correct it, to rectify that? No. What's the style of empathetic leader? How will you identify an empathetic leader? It's not very difficult. Do we take genuine interest in others? And how we understand that somebody is taking genuine interest in others? We have already discussed listening to the person, really putting oneself into the other's shoes. So it's by trying to help out the other person is being genuine. Good leaders understand and try to understand and try to identify the triggers, the other's point of view, what motivates others, what puts them off, and what inspires the other to work, which is very important. Let us not forget it. They forget in each and every step that we are all human beings. They can connect with different types of people. They are at ease when they talk to a CEO, a MD, a manager, or even a peon, because they treat people equally. So what they do, they actually try to understand why are people how they are. That is again understanding the other's emotions, the trigger points, the motivations, the same thing. So what they do is they adapt to the other's style, and they do it with such an ease that the other feels at ease with the leader. Something that we want to be good at should become our habit. We should be habitual because we must keep on practicing those. And what are those habits that an empathetic leader practices? When they are with someone, maybe even in a room full of people, they treat the other like a king or a queen. They give their complete attention to the other. They are fully present with the other. They are never distracted by anything. So how do they do that? Again, we have to go back to active listening. They have mastered the skill of active listening. So how do we master that skill? We must try to understand the other person's perspectives, what they love, what they do not like, what are the triggers. So I am repeating these points because these are the ones basically which makes our leader empathetic. And since I'm addressing future leaders or the leaders at present, these points should be instilled in our minds. So what they do, they leave the judgments behind. They leave it at the door. They are not influenced by their own thoughts. And what they do, they reflect back. Okay, so what you said is this. Did you mean this? An occasional nod, a smile on the face, all these things show that someone is actually listening or actually actively listening. Even a verbal affirmation like or I understand, I am feeling for you, are part of active listeners. Again, I come to the same thing, non-verbal communication. This part is so very important for a leader to be empathetic. The kindness, the softness should come into our entire appearance. Our face should say that, yes, I am feeling for you. My entire body language should mean that, yes, I am with you. I am listening to you. And this is a very, very crucial part of communication. Most of the times, what happens is we are in a hurry to respond to others, or maybe to say something behind what the other has said, even before listening what the other wants to say. We do not pause. But empathetic leaders pause. They listen. They think. They put themselves in the other's shoes. So what they do, they do not advise. If we do not pause, we generally tend to give advices, but when we pause and when we put ourselves to another's shoes, we do not advise. What do? We rather ask questions. Questions like, how did you feel when that happened to you? What do you think would have helped you? Or did this type of a behavior make any changes in your thought process? Did your behavior change? How did you feel about the entire experience? What happens when we ask questions? The other gets the answer there. We cannot solve any problem for anyone. It is on the other. What we can do is just help them. And when we ask questions, they feel comforted. Empathetic leaders are those who do not say, I, you should do, you do that, you do this, I am this. No, it's always in terms of us and we. It's second person pronouns, we as a team. That means your mistake is my mistake. Hence, the team member feels protected, comforted, and safe. So the team member will give the maximum output. They believe in perspective taking. Now, what is perspective taking? It is like putting oneself literally into the other's shoes. And how do they do it? They close their eyes, or even opening their eyes, they imagine themselves to be in that place, in their place. Suppose somebody was abused by some other person. Maybe a front desk executive being abused by a client or a customer comes to the leader and shares his or her pain. The leader puts himself or herself in the front desk executive's place, imagining the entire scenario. And then from there, the decision is being made, or say the front desk executive is being helped. So this is called perspective taking, literally putting oneself into the other's shoes. But all this have a downside also. There are people who take empathy and kindness to be weaknesses. That cannot be allowed. And moreover, what happens, many a times it has been seen that the decisions are short-lived. Why? Because the decisions were not taken based on proper feedback. Like I said, people take the leader for granted, think that the leader is there to empathize, so I can do anything. And as a result, the leaders sometimes they take a decision that is not in favor of the organization. Also, there's a confusion between the team and the leader. The team thinks the leader is always there to soothe them. They do not think that even they have a responsibility of being proactive, of helping the leader on the other hand, because the leader is also a human being. The leader also needs help, and that can be done if the team members help themselves. Now, it comes in the way of decision making also. How? Like I said, if I'm being too empathetic, I do not see the logical reasonings at times. And people might take advantage. It's not that everybody does that, but yes, there are some people who does that. So I have to be mindful. So that empathetic leader has to be mindful. What happens is also a leader, being a human being, cannot treat everyone equally. He or she also has some biased attitudes. So what happens? The team members whom the leader can relate to himself or herself gets more of that empathetic side than the others with whom the leader cannot relate. Hence, it is limiting also. Or suppose there are in a team, there are 4 or 5 people who are suffering emotionally. As a human being, it is not possible for the leader to pay equal attention to everybody and be equally empathetic to everybody. After all, that person also has 2 ears and 2 eyes. It is seen, mostly it has been studied in hospitals that being empathetic leads to burnout. So doctors, sometimes we have seen that doctors and nurses are expressionless because they see deaths every day, they see accidents every day, they see diseases every day. So what happens? They have shut out that particular path. It has been seen that a lot of leaders or even doctors and nurses from hospitals, they go on sabbaticals just to deal with the stress. It is humanly not possible to equally deal with all the stresses together. But there's a way of dealing all these things. How can we do that? Biases. What do we like? Towards what are we biased? How can, so what happens is once we know our biases, what we do is not getting into that, not getting trapped into that and including everybody into a project or maybe into a problem solving without letting our biases. Delegating responsibility is another way to divide this stress. Like for a set of stakeholders, say, there may be a group of people who deals with the internal stakeholders and there may be a group of people who deals with the external stakeholders. So that can be done. The stress can be divided. It's important to create a balance. We should know where to draw the boundary. Are we being too much empathetic? Are we treating the right person empathetically? We have to understand that. To do that, we have to promote accountability. Is somebody taking too much of advantage? Is that person giving back? Is that person also helping others? Also breaks. Nowadays, it has been seen that a lot of offices have invested in some pods, which are known as relaxation pods, or even they arrange for employee holidays. This is necessary to actually take time to break free from all that is happening and understanding ourselves. Unless we understand ourselves, we know ourselves well, that is self-aware, we will not know how to balance empathy, because empathy at the end is about emotions. We human are all about emotions, our fear, our anxiety, our helplessness, our feeling not recognized, our feeling of not being awarded, whatever. And it is okay, because at the end, we all are human beings. We are full of emotions. The only trick is to manage, first know our emotions and then manage our emotions. Once we are successful in doing that, we can be proper, balanced, empathetic leaders. Here's wishing all the best to the future empathetic leaders. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Hello. Please unmute yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful presentation.
It's absolutely my pleasure. It was an honor to be here and speak on the topic, which is really close to my heart for the students and for all those who have been viewing this.
No, absolutely, ma'am. This would help our student as well as faculty for the future. So
It's
there are
my pleasure.
yes, there are one or two questions from our end, ma'am.
Yes.
According to you, what is the importance of emotional quotient on leadership?
As I said, empathy is linked with emotional quotient. We must understand where to draw the boundary, because there are people who might take advantage, or we might ourselves appear to be too kind, so that it creates a confusion in the other's mind that the leader is only there to soothe. It is not only that. What is the function of a leader? We have to understand that first. The function of a leader is to lead an entire team, not only one individual. So when we think about leading an entire team, what we have to keep in mind is the well-being of the entire team and the entire organization, and not only one individual. So here comes emotional intelligence, or the EQ, emotional quotient. We need to strike the balance there. Okay, for example, I'll share another research as an example to this. So this research was conducted to see the impact of, the downwards impact of empathy on people. So it was conducted in a hospital. What happened? A terminally ill child, the recording of the sufferings of a terminally ill child was presented to a group, rather two groups, where the doctors already have said that if the treatment is further continued, it might cause problem for the others around the child. And if it is not continued, the child might not live for long. Now the group were one group was asked to decide completely based on empathy, and the other was asked to completely decide based on objectives. It was found that the group which decided on empathy, 3/4 of the members decided in favor of the treatment, knowing well that it is going to harm the others to the extent that they might lose their mental wellness. On the other hand, the group which decided based on the objectives, only 1/4 of the group members decided in favor. So this says why the emotional quotient or EQ is necessary to regulate empathy. Yes, ma'am. Any more question?
Yes, ma'am. Only last one.
Sure.
How can we build empathy in any team? For building
Okay.
a team, yes.
So that has already been covered. Still, I repeat, the number one and most important thing is listening. Unless we listen, we will not know what the other wants to say, how the other is feeling, what are the triggers of the other, what motivates the other or inspires the other. So number one is listening. Even before that, I actually put effort on self-awareness. Unless we know ourselves, what are our triggers, what are those that inspires us, how will we understand the other? Because we will not be able to relate. Once we do not know ourselves, we will not be able to empathize ourselves. Once we do not be able to empathize ourselves, how can we empathize others? It is humanly not possible. It is seen that it is again a research fact that which is seen, it is humanly not possible. So what happens is, one, self-awareness, two, listening skill, third, our body language. I should give that feeling to the other that I am listening to you without any judgments and I'm being kind to you. My entire appearance should say that. So these are the most important things among many other factors which can actually develop empathy. So we are actually human beings, have empathy right from their birth. But what happens is the conditionings. We go through different kind of environments. So there are different kind of conditionings that happens, and the empathy part most of the time gets suppressed. We are not able to recognize. It's more about recognizing those than developing. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so I think we should end the session here. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining with us today and giving us your valuable time.
It's my pleasure.
Yes, and
Thank you.
along with it, I would like to thank the head of our department, Mr. Hemal Patel, sir, the HR of our institute, Dr. Jatin Vaidya, sir, and the president of the university, Dr. Devanshu Patel, sir, for motivating and supporting us continuously for this webinar. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye.